don't deploy forces into harm's way without knowing what's going on, without having some real-time information about what's taking place. And as a result of not having that kind of information, the commander who is on the ground or in that area, General Ham, General Dempsey, and I felt very strongly that we could not put forces at risk in that situation.
The fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go kill some Americans? What difference at this point does it make? It is our job to figure out what happened and do everything we can to prevent it from ever happening again.
And welcome back to Hannity. We continue with Congressman Darrell Issa, and Jason Chaffetz is with us. Did we have real-time information? Because it appears if we had a C-130 ready to go, everybody knew what was going on, and we had drone video coming in, didn't we?
Exactly, Sean. We had real-time video. We were looking at these attacks in real time within an hour of the beginning. So the idea that they didn't have an assessment of the number and the capability of the attackers was ridiculous. More importantly, if you have people being shot at, mortared, killed, the idea that you don't come as you are and bring what you have is reprehensible to Americans. Sure, you like to have weeks or months to plan to do things, but in real world, you protect American lives as best you can. And in this case, we ordered American soldiers not to do the best they could.
Was Hillary being honest before the committee?
Well, certainly she wanted to change the subject, and she wanted to change the subject as though we're fixing what was broken. But again, if you deny what was broken, then the fix won't matter. Pretending you're safe with this normalization policy, telling people to take their plates off of their diplomatic vehicles to somehow be safer, not having a plan to deal with if you're attacked, and then denying the actual cause of the attack, none of that will cause you to make the right decisions going forward. And that's the legacy of Secretary Clinton is, are you going to honestly admit what went wrong so you can make changes, or are you going to say it doesn't matter and then say, but here are the changes?
You know, I mentioned, go ahead, Congressman Chaffetz, I mentioned Watergate earlier. It makes a difference if we are purposely being lied to manipulate an election, that they purposely lying to the American people and covering up, especially in this case, there's 4 dead Americans, including 2 Navy SEALs, and of course, the ambassador, the first ambassador killed in 30 years.
Can you imagine if after the Boston bombings that our Secretary of State came out 8 months later and said, oh, you know, what difference does it make? Can you imagine if the spokesperson for the President of the United States said, oh, it happened a long time ago? Nobody's been brought to justice. We have 4 dead Americans. We have an American who's still in the hospital tonight, nearly 8 months later. That's how badly wounded he is. And when Secretary Clinton came before the Foreign Affairs Committee and testified that the people on the ground made the decisions about the security, that was never true. There isn't somebody even the age of 6 years old and older that believes that was ever true. It wasn't true then. It's not true now.
Last question.
For her to say it 4.5 months later is just wrong.
Let's assume that what I have believed from the beginning, that we were being lied to purposely, turns out to be true. What does that mean, Congressman Issa?
It means that we need to change the rules that allow this kind of opaqueness to this administration. We've got to have real-time, over-the-shoulder ability to see what we're being told. You know, ultimately, they've made a claim. The administration's made a claim that for classified reasons, they change the story. We believe right now that may be the biggest lie of all, and we intend on making the president come clean as to, quote, what the classified reasons are that would justify lying to the American people.
Any crime?
Look,
well, lying to Congress is a crime.
Yeah, sunlight's the best disinfectant. We have a duty and obligation to bring out the facts to the American people, and especially those families who lost loved ones that night.
They deserve answers. That's true at the end of the day, and the country deserves answers, and we deserve the truth, and we need to know if we were purposely lied to. Guys, we're going to watch very closely as this unfolds on Wednesday, and thank you both very much for being with us.
Thanks, Sean.